must realize you are doomed.
Welcome, everybody, to a special segment of Three Scoundrels and a Douche.
Let's go!
Today, we're going to do extremely late reviews. It's a new topic we got going here. And we got Mortal Kombat coming out this weekend. So we decided, hey, let's do a review of the 1995 Mortal Kombat. All right, everybody. I have to say, we got a special guest here. It is Mr. Pyro Clown himself. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. How's
Pyro?
everybody doing?
Doing good. We're doing good. So we got a special guest named Pyro. We also got Vic on the panel and Rich. Today, like I said, we're going to do extremely late reviews, and it's Mortal Kombat. All right, fellas. So we're going to get into this right now, into Mortal Kombat, the 1995 edition. Like you guys, I'm assuming we all played the game. Yes, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Okay, so right away, I'm just gonna start off like when I heard rumblings that this was coming out. This was when I was like 10, 12 years old. This was coming out. I'm like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But man, I remember when I saw this trailer drop, I'm like, oh man, they're really doing it. I was so glued to that TV. You thought somebody had a cheeseburger in their hand. I was so glued to that damn TV. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. It got me hyped. I liked the story itself in the Mortal Kombat. You know, I know everybody liked the fighting, the guts, but what really took it to the next level was the storytelling a little bit. Each character that you defeated or won at the end gave you a little background story or of what they did afterwards. Mm-hmm. So I was really interested in the stories just through the arcade games.
Oh yeah.
So so I just vividly remember this too. My brother taking me, and he's 10 years older than me. I was about 12 years old, so he had been 21, and he took me to go see this opening weekend. And I gotta tell you, man, when I heard that theme song come right into play, oh my God. Oh, I mean, this sent chills on me. I had goosebumps. But anyways, so I want to ask you guys, let's get into the opening. So we got, it begins with Shang Tsung beating the crap out of Liu Kang's brother. And then we get Liu Kang, a little bit of a little story, not really, it's just a couple seconds, him waking up. And then we get Sonya and Jax and Johnny Cage. Question, it's gonna go to Rich, and then it's gonna go to Vic, and then Vince, okay? So first question is, guys, what did you guys think about that opening scenes for the characters they introduced, the introduction of the characters herself?
As a kid playing the video games, it was nice because you got to see some of your favorite characters to play with. My favorite was Johnny Cage. So it was nice seeing them going through every story. And I'm like you with the whole intro, that song just pumps you up. And then whenever you see the flames going through the logo for Mortal Kombat, like throughout the whole intro, it really excites you, especially as a kid who played the games.
Yeah, the intro for all three characters are really fast and just really perfect. It nails their characters like immediately, right? They give you everything you need to know. Liu Kang's got this he's got this mission to find out what happened to his brother. He sees this vision like in a dream, kind of, right? You got Sonya and Jax chasing Kano, and then you got Johnny Cage and his movie set, and he's playing the arrogant guy, right?
Yeah.
So, and they show kind of that he's the martial artist guy that's kind of getting tricked by Shang Tsung. So you see everybody's kind of like getting pulled towards this tournament like real slowly. So I love the intro, and that song is so fucking badass.
Yeah, I really, just watching it yesterday, I was like,
you know, the music came on, and I was like, holy crap. You know, I felt like watching it now and then watching it as a kid, I still get hyped for that song. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
It's so crazy. And I feel like the actress and the actors that play it, the characters, I think they capture them really well, and it still holds up to this day. I
Yeah.
feel like, you know, Johnny Cage is, you know, the arrogant guy and kind of a douche in the movie, but it fits that role. And then Sonya Blade and Liu Kang. So I that the characters that they pick for them is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Hmm. Speaking of characters, so they actually had the guy who played Highlander, Christopher Lambert, as Raiden. It was kind of little weird. I mean, he has that little raspy
No,
voice.
it's perfect because when in Highlander, when he gets hit by the lightning, when he
Uh-huh.
after he beheads somebody and he's getting hit by lightning and he's like, ah, and he's getting everybody's powers. You got to think about that. Like they were probably looking at this guy and they were like, okay, he's getting hit by lightning in this show. Why don't we just
He's
make him the lightning
perfect.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, so they introduced Raiden. Did any of you guys not like a certain character that was in this movie,
mm,
or do you think they portrayed all of them good?
I wasn't a
Oh,
well. If you're talking about like actor wise,
Yeah.
I would probably have to say Kano, not just because of the actor, but also he didn't really use his eye. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
yeah,
So
he had some funny lines.
yeah,
He had some funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'll give it to you. He's
But
got some
it's
funny lines.
but his lines were memorable.
No,
You
yeah, they
know.
were.
Everything.
Yeah.
I've studied all
Yeah.
your moves. Like everything is like awesome about that guy. Who cares about his eye? Give me a break. Yeah, like everything's awesome. I reject your opinion.
You rebuke it. Rebuked. All right, Vic, what's yours?
I can't think of any that I don't like. I love everybody in this movie. Even the little side characters that pop out at the end when Shang Tsung like summons them, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
like every single character. Even the first guy that Liu Kang fights, he's from that old TV show. What is it called? World Series Masters or something. I forget what that show's called, but I grew up watching that show. And the interesting thing about that show is that the guy, that black guy that Liu Kang fights,
Uh-huh.
he in the first episode is kind of rivaling this Asian guy who is actually the guy who played Liu Kang in the video games. He's the motion
Oh,
capture guy. So
Oh.
there's this like link between them, you know?
yeah.
And it's just so cool like seeing that, like, you know, like you could tell they're basing all this stuff off of like kind of like these tie-ins from like, you know, oh, people know him from this thing, he'll be a contender. So when Shang Tsung steals that guy's soul, you're just like, no, that guy, like I knew him from this freaking thing where he was called the Machine or whatever. Like it just it adds extra power to him for me.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I didn't like anyone. Maybe the acting of Liu Kang's brother was a little
Mm.
eh,
Mhm.
but it was believable. I liked it.
Um, I don't know. I think the person that played Jax, he didn't look really that
Mm.
built, and how I remember Jax, even in the Super NES days, he was like Jack, like he, and I don't know if it was because of the robot arms or he was Jack before that, and then like
Yeah.
they're like, all right, let's just mold it. But looking back, and I was like, oh, that's not the guy from the second one. So it's just really funny seeing like this, you know, scrawny looking black dude and being like, oh, that's Jax, and being like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah,
the
yeah.
where's the all that muscle at?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's my only one. My only one.
It's really not an actor that I really didn't care for. It was the early in the movie was with Reptile. I really didn't like that chameleon type deal. I mean, some people were like,
Mm.
well, it makes sense because he turns into, life form later on in the movie, but I just didn't like that whole chameleon type deal. It just that CGI was so cheesy as hell. I mean,
Yeah.
I know this movie itself is cheesy, but that was just so freaking cheesy
Oh
upon
my goodness.
cheese.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, like what the? At first, I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I don't know. But that was the only thing I really didn't care for, I guess, as far as character goes. I like Shang Tsung a lot. We're going to talk about what was our favorite character. I
Oh
love
yeah.
Shang Tsung a lot, and the reason this guy, the actor who played him, I can't remember his name, just played him pretty good. I just like he actually he played like an anime character for me because he was such a pervert when it came to Sonya.
All right.
You know
Dressed her
how
up.
like
Yeah.
yeah, just like you've been chosen, Sonya, much to my delight. It's like, dude. And then when she was doing the leg grapple, and and you can see a little bit of cleavage. He's like, yes. I'm like, oh my god. Kind of like getting an anime spoof. You know how like they have, anyways, little pervert people on there. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. I'm thinking about Master Roshi when he was doing
Yeah.
that, to be perfectly honest with you. But I love seeing Shin, but he also brought that like a villain to him, and you felt like, okay, this dude, you need to watch out for this brother,
Yeah.
something that Annihilation didn't do for me, but that's we'll talk about that later,
Yeah.
because that didn't work at all. I didn't have no fear of that.
Yeah.
But I really like Sing Song. I love the soul caption thing he did, and the flawless victory, how he said it. It was really good to pinpoint. Rich, how about you? What was your favorite character in this 1995 movie?
Definitely Johnny Cage. Not just because he's my favorite character in the game, but he has some of the best fights. Probably the best fight with him and Scorpion. And then when he just
Mm.
demolishes Goro, I mean, they
Yeah.
make you fear. They make you fear Goro. Like, he's gonna like just rip apart anybody. Anybody that crosses his path. But they don't know how Johnny Cage is when you break his favorite pair of sunglasses, like he does in the movie.
You get
And
thrown
then
off a mountain.
Yeah.
like there was no fight to that Goro, to that that part of the movie whenever he fought Goro.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, but you get those two twins going, yeah,
oh
no.
yeah. And Raiden going, yeah, and he punches a dude, but yeah,
Love
I
those
mean
guys.
Johnny Cage, all the way.
I think I agree with you. I wasn't gonna, only because I like the Sub-Zero fight with Liu Kang so much. Just because they do a lot of cool choreography stuff. There's a wall, a wall backflip kind of thing. There's even there's a part where Liu Kang is chasing after Sub-Zero, and for no reason he jumps and he does the Superman punch.
Dude, oh my god, I was gonna bring that up.
I love
And
Oh yeah, that was so random. Yeah,
so random.
Yeah.
it
so
fits.
random.
It fits because
If
like
it's
if you think about it, okay, when Reptile shows up, right, and Reptile gets like punched into this cadaver kind of skeleton thing, and then
Yeah.
Reptile tries to get
Yeah.
out, and all the bugs like grab him back in, like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
like you hear for a second, you hear the music go Reptile.
Yeah. What was that about?
And then whenever he's dazed later and he's making like little reptile noises and he's all like dazed and he's like, or whatever, as soon as Liu Kang goes, "Ah," and he's about to like punch him, he goes,
Yeah.
jumps up. It fits,
Yeah.
Dave. It fits. Liu Kang doing a jumping punch out of like a downward ramp or whatever. It fits completely. It's so silly.
The reason
Like,
that part
in
was
a
so
good
funny
way.
to me, the reason that part was so funny to me, Vic, was because right before he did that Superman punch, Sub-Zero was just doing backflips, being so
Yeah.
professional, and Liu Kang's like, all right, I'll do this.
Yeah.
He just,
Yeah.
he just runs and just punches air for no reason. It's like, what?
Perfect.
Uh, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think the best fight it has to be Johnny Cage and Scorpio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I'm not, I don't care for Johnny Cage, but Scorpio is my guy, man. Freaking, and just have, I like how it transitioned from the forest to the other world
Yeah.
or like hell and stuff like that. I really like that transition, and then you know, him doing his get over here move
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and like just being relentless with Johnny Cage, especially in that little tight quarters.
Yeah.
I really like that scene.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because like Scorpion is like kicking him and kicking him and kicking him, and every time Johnny Cage tries to take a breath, he kicks him from like another area, and he does like another kick to his head.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like
From everywhere.
nonstop. And the one, oh god, whenever Johnny Cage flips him, and you see Scorpion's like ankles hit that post.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know he's a demon skeleton, but that had to hurt his bones. Like he's like my tibia.
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh,
of
and
what,
then-
go
Oh,
ahead, go
wait.
Vince, go ahead.
Oh wait. And the ending. I love the ending fight with that is where he rips off the mask and
Oh,
it
yeah.
shows a skeleton and he's breathing fire. I don't know if they did that in the game or not, but
They did. It's a
I thought
fatality.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, it
fatality.
is.
yeah.
And the
I thought it was. I
and the
thought
cool-
it was.
The cool thing is like the blending of like 3 different Hollywood magic type things. So they got a puppet, right, for when he's getting sliced up and you see the goop, right?
Yeah.
And then they have an actual guy on fire, right? And then they have something else, I can't remember, but it's probably just like a another type of puppet or CG or something. Oh yeah, it was CG because when he does the
Yeah.
when he does this, it's complete CG.
Yeah.
So they blend like all 3, and I still think it looks great. Like I love like
Oh.
the screaming sound effects, the fire, everything, the ending. They just blow up that puppet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
liked
thought
how
that.
I liked how they squeaked in a little bit of a friendship in there. The
Yeah,
signed Johnny
you're
Cage.
so right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how they did that. Yeah, it
That's
was
why this
hilarious.
movie's perfect. That's why
To
it
my
has
great, it
everything.
said to my greatest fan, Johnny
Yeah.
Cage. And think of another funny thing. I know I'm gonna go right to you, Vic. I know you in that forest. I know you got something for us where you said you saw
Oh my
in that
goodness.
forest. Go ahead,
Yeah,
talk about that.
I was gonna bring that up earlier. Yeah, the forest scene is super cool. And by the way, it maybe it just speaks to how zany this movie is. But yeah, if you see that little silver car in the background on the top left of the screen, it's hilarious. Especially if you're watching on like a really big screen and you just see this car like drive by.
I just imagine the editor seeing that and it's like, fuck
Screw
it.
it. Yeah.
We're in rap. We're not gonna do anything else.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice it. I didn't notice.
I didn't notice it.
until
Yeah,
you told me about it, Vic. I
love
never
it.
knew.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched it yesterday night. I still didn't notice.
That
you know,
shows
stuff
you.
like
that
that.
shows you how many times Vic has watched this
I've seen
movie.
it too many times. I fall
Oh,
asleep to that
man.
movie.
Well, let's talk to the actual Sonya and Kano fight. I know we talked about the Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Let's talk about the Sonya and Kano fight. Did you guys like that fight? Did you not really care for it? What was your thoughts on that particular fight, Rich?
It was one of the funnier fights. Like I said, Kano, the acting wise, like I said, but his lines were funny, especially how he's like at the very end, like the most probably. Well, I won't say the most memorable line. I think the most memorable line is ear to ear thing,
Yeah.
way that Vic did earlier. But whenever he has Sonya, oh baby, give me a break, and she breaks his neck. But I mean, that was not one of the best fights, but just with Kano's lines, it was one of my favorite ones.
I can never take my focus off that spit that comes out of his
Oh yeah,
out of his mouth. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, I wish they would have done a separate cut, but whatever. Like it actually adds to how brutally murdered he gets right there.
It's like they pulled him from the scene where he was eating in front of Goro. Remember he's just stuffing his face. Like they pulled him.
That.
All right, from that
turkey leg.
From that to you gotta go fight Sonya now.
Yep. And he's just like trying to size up Goro. He's like, oh yeah, I'm something special over here.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh dude. Goro just stands up in all his like claymation glory and he's like, like I'm a prince. Yeah. I like the Kano fight. It's a little bit short.
Yeah,
but
it's
Sonya
short.
does them in real fast. I like the addition of the blade. I think that's freaking awesome. I mean, everybody else had like magic or whatever, and this guy just comes in with a giant Rambo knife, but yeah, it ends pretty quickly actually. And you get a Sonya move, you get the classic, stand on the hands,
Yeah.
scissor grab thing or
Scissor to the
whatever.
neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get some
Yeah.
classic moves and you get a fatality with Shang Tsung. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking about the black guy. But he says the fatality, right? He goes
Yeah.
fatality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you, Pyro?
I I mean, you could tell like just the acting wise, like you could see like them really like. I felt like this is one of the fights like you could really see that they pull their punches or they were just going really slow and I'm like, that doesn't even look good. And I never noticed shit like that. So
Mhm.
They had to show you how
So-
much Shang Tsung was looking at what's her name?
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade. Yeah. He was
Mhm.
really into that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get in. All right. Next question, though, I want to get into is actually the, guess you could call it the lesser known fights. You got the, what is it, Liu Kang, and I call him Akeem the Machine, because I don't know if you guys remember, there was like a show with martial arts stuff, and he was in it. I can't remember the
I
show
just talked
name.
about it. Yeah, I just talked
What
about
was
it.
it?
It's like Masters, World Masters or something. Can you look it
Yeah.
up, Rich?
But
Yeah, I'll look it up.
anyways,
I'll look it up while you talk.
but yeah, but that scene, that fight scene, I thought it was pretty good, especially for not being two main characters from the arcade. And then the other one was, you got the other side character, Art Lean, I believe his name was. Did you like how they build those two side characters? With Akeem and then Art Lean. Did that take you out, or were you glad that they provided a little bit more how do you say, I don't know, different characters into it, little side characters?
I like the different characters. I think if it's gonna be a tournament, it's got to have more people, right? Like,
Right.
and but
Yeah.
they can't go overboard with the main characters. Like, you can't have like Striker or Cabal or Melina or like you can't have too many because then you miss out on the little story that there could possibly be. It would have been too much. So yeah, I like the holy trinity of Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya versus kind of like the realm of bad guys. I think
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, exactly what Vic said. It was nice for them to show characters you didn't really get to see in the video game. And yeah, I gotta find out where that guy's from, the show you guys were talking about.
Just put in Mortal Kombat the machine and it'll link you up.
Okay.
How about you? How about you, Pyro? Did it work for you? Those little side bouts and stuff and side characters.
I think it did, just for the fact like Vic was saying, you don't want to throw too many characters from the video game because then I feel like it's just like they don't get enough time spent on one of them. And I feel like, if someone's playing Mortal Kombat, they're either going to be playing Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny Cage. You're not going to really be playing Melina. What's her sister's name? Katana. Yeah. And they're not going to be really playing. So I think they started out really good with just the three, and then kind of have like a couple randoms just to help break up like the movie, so it's not all about just them. So yeah, I think those side characters did help.
Another question: do you guys like how Raiden really didn't do too much, I guess you would say, as far as fighting? Really, he was just there as the protector of Rama Earth, stuff like that. And also Katana, I mean, she had one little fight, but it was with Liu Kang, but it really wasn't a per se fight. It was just more of a, to me, it looked like more of a Akata type deal because they were just blocking everything, doing little it looked like wrestling to me, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Did you like how they kind of not shelved them, but say, okay, they're in the story, but they're not the main focus and
Yeah.
not really showing what they could really do? Did you
Yeah,
like that, how they did it?
With Raiden, I don't know. I don't know if they were like limited on what they could make him do. But with Katana, I felt like she was always, just around Liu Kang. Like whenever he was fighting Sub-Zero, and she just comes around the corner and she gives him this weird,
Like
I
a
forgot what she
creeper.
says. It's what brings life or
You use
something.
the element that
Yeah.
brings life. It's like, just say water, you
Yeah,
idiot.
and he's
Just say
just
You hide
water.
it in a riddle for no
and
reason.
the whole time he's just flipping the thing like 30 times just
He's
to
got to
throw
get
it.
it spiked up. He's got to get it spiked up. If you don't do it enough, it's not gonna get spiked up.
But in the
But then
clip,
it was just a drop of water.
yeah. And then the
That was-
clip, the bucket turns into the ice. Like the bucket disappears, and it's just a massive ice freaking spike just goes through his chest.
You
That
saw how
like it
shocked
was
he looked when he
massive.
was stuck up there. Like, I can't believe I
He's
got
like,
killed by water.
I
Like,
didn't know there was that much water in that bucket. He just dies. Yeah, but yeah.
well, to what you're saying, Dave, like if they were underutilized for Raiden, I think that he was perfectly utilized because look, he's a freaking god, right? We saw what the hell he did to Scorpion and Sub-Zero, right? In the boat scene, he just went in there and just broke that whole thing up, and he was just like, stop, like enough, right? He can end any fight at any point, no matter what. Look at how hard these guys had to fight to, beat Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Like Raiden could have just destroyed them at any time, any one
Yeah.
of these guys, even Goro. So it kind of just, you get to see like, the top tier guy just just hanging out and having faith that his fighters are going to win for Earthrealm. So I like that a lot. I like that he hangs back, but he's like all powerful. He could destroy everything at any time. And as for Katana, she's the princess. She's got to go back to her throne anyways, like, or whatever, she does. So it's fine. Like, I think narratively, I think it works. I think it works for them to have not that much screen time and be underutilized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Vic, but it'd be nice to see him fucking Raiden put on his, his uniform and take out a couple people and stuff like that. And Katana from the second movie, that's literally what I remember her by from the second movie is her fighting with her fans and
Yeah.
just being a badass fighter. That's all I can remember. So if they would have just threw like a little hint in there being like, all right, these guys can fuck up people, but they just choose not to, I think that would have been maybe just a tad a little bit better. But other than that, I see why they wouldn't put them in there, but it'd be nice to see them, see what they can do for the next movie, I guess.
Yeah, like if Katana would have just interrupted during that Sub-Zero fight, it would have saved Liu Kang from doing that awkward Superman punch. But she just standing in
Yeah.
the corner.
A fan from the
Hey,
corner, just
hey, real
Yeah.
quick, was that show called Womack Masters?
yeah.
That's the one you're talking about?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
So we're gonna go to the other fight with we touched a little bit on it, but it was the reptile fight with Liu Kang. I know you were making fun of how it says reptile in the
Mhm.
beginning when he transformed, but man, even that soundtrack, that music in the
It's so
background
good.
got me
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Man, it just kept going up. Man, I have to say this is one of the best soundtracks as far as especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. You would hear it at school functions, activities like basketball games, football games, all the sports games at school. It was just a great soundtrack on this on this movie. Leaning towards the end, we talked a little bit about the Goro fight and
Yeah.
Johnny Cage. It was funny because it was just Johnny Cage kind of beat him pretty handedly. He hides behind a little stone and says, "Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole," and
Yeah.
kicks him off the
Yeah.
cliff. And I'm just like,
That actor was just
okay.
perfect. He was perfect for Johnny Cage,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah, he did a good job. And then we're gonna talk about the final scene with finally with Shang Tsung and and Liu Kang. Rich, your thoughts on that final scene with the fight between Shang Tsung and Liu Kang?
I mean, that was the perfect way to end it. I mean, it started with his dream of Shang Tsung killing his brother. So that was
Mhm.
that was like the only way to end it. That was another really good fight for me, but it just doesn't beat, the Johnny Cage one.
Vic,
Favorite fight? Oh geez, yeah, the Johnny Cage one.
no, I just meant
No,
just the fight, the ending. Just
How'd you feel about the ending?
The
how I
ending
feel about the
fight?
ending.
Yeah.
With Shang Tsung. Let's see. I don't know. Okay, so first you got the all your friends are here, like
Mhm.
they're all supporting, or we all came. It's actually really funny because don't they all just uncloak and Liu Kang
Yeah.
just goes up there and he's like, I'm gonna fight you. And so we actually do get to see our first fireball in this fight.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
oh
cool.
yeah.
And the way Shang Tsung dies is pretty funny. I don't know. There's not
Pretty
much.
funny.
Yeah, it's not much.
Funny
That's funny.
how?
Because
You
there's
tell
spikes
me.
on the
Funny
ground.
how?
They come out of nowhere. They're just coming out of the ground for no reason. Who was gonna drop down there? Like, why were those spikes there? Like, does
It
that
was
room
trying to be
always have
like the
spikes?
pit. It was trying to say like this is a little pit,
I
like
get
in the
that, but
arcade game.
the spikes didn't decide to come out until they went to the upstairs. But it's just funny, like to think that those spikes have always been there.
Yeah.
And their only use is whenever anyone is fighting upstairs. But I do like that they show Shang Tsung's like sorcerer powers more there, like the way he summons like these ancient warriors. We don't know these guys. They all look different. Liu Kang makes like nothing out of them. And then he has a pretty good fight with Shang Tsung, but you could kind of tell Shang Tsung, the actor, is a little old, so it's kind of an awkward fight. And he's wearing this vest that's a little too high up, and you can see his upper back, and it's just a little, I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe I don't know, but I enjoy the fight well enough, and I like the fireball, and I like the ending, and he turns into a skeleton, so cool.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like the first half of that fight was just kind of like, I mean, it was cool to see him duke it out, but then when the guys come up, I thought that was so yeah, the the fight with the random other warriors was interesting, but then it gets to that hard cut where it's like, all right, I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, and then I'm gonna fight you up there, and it's just like, okay, you could have fought like your way up at least, or make it like, I don't know, fucking slap each other going up the stairs or something.
Yeah.
He just
I
runs
love
right
how,
there.
I love how awkward of a jog it is to go up that little spiral stair. They just do a one shot all the way up, and he's just like jogging up.
Yeah, and then it's just like, all right, now I'm gonna fuck you up, and
Yeah.
just I'm like, But the ending was good though, when he like comes at him full force, and Liu Kang is just beating him towards the pit, and then at the end just finally knocks him off with that fireball. I thought that part was probably like the best part of that fight.
I appreciated the last fight. I like how he's like what Vic was saying when he summoned the older warriors, the souls he captured, but I mean he did make with them pretty easily, but I still liked it. Some old warriors that he had enslaved. But man, my favorite part was in the very beginning when all you hear is test your might, fight. I'm like, oh my god, man, that shit just like, oh my god, we're gonna do it again. I was like, oh my man, every time these songs, man, they knock it out the park with me with the soundtrack, man. I'm just like, oh my god, but I love that part. The fight, like you said, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best one. I agree with Rich. It was the Scorpion and Johnny Cage fight. But then let's go to the very, very ending. Liu Kang saves the day. Everybody throws a parade.
Yay.
Order of light.
And your background happens.
And then you see all you hear is Shao Kahn, man. You know, and they just shows a little bit of shadow over there. You really can't make out a little bit when he blows up the Order of Light. Man, were you like me? I'm like, oh man, they're gonna get another one here, and then I'm like, if it's anything like this, I'm definitely gonna see this. You know, were you guys excited? Were you guys excited for the new one coming in, and thinking, oh, okay, I'm ready for this one?
Well, I was definitely excited to see, like, okay, it's not over. They leave it with an open ending. What does he say? You pathetic fools, I'll have your soul, or something like that. And
Yeah,
that's when Raiden says, what do you
I
say?
don't think so.
I don't think so. And now he uses his lightning, and then it all cuts to them, standing, and it hits back on the soundtrack like you love, Dave. It starts with that song again, da, 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 right away. So I mean, that was a perfect way to end it. I mean, as a kid, it got me excited. Like, oh man, we're gonna get some more of this stuff. So yeah, I was excited.
It's super badass. That's all I'm saying about it. Like, it's just so freaking cool. I love the lineup shot after he says I don't think so, and they all do their poses.
Yeah.
Like, that is so much cooler than the end of Street Fighter. Do you remember? Do you remember the end of Street Fighter where they do their poses and they all super corny?
It
Yeah,
was like
super corny.
it was like the Ginyu
Oh.
Force pose.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
was
God.
awful. But this one is like a good lined up shot, like from the side. Like, it just looks awesome.
Yeah, back in the day when I was watching it as a kid, and I seen like, them all posing and stuff like that, I'm like, oh hell yes, I'm gonna go watch this movie and be hyped about it.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best ending as a kid for me.
Yeah.
All those little poses that they do in this movie are freaking cool. Like, do you remember the scene when they're having the big dinner, and then all those guys come in because Shang Tsung says, and now a taste of things to come, and like all these guys come in and they just start knocking everybody's plates off the tables. They're making room because Sub-Zero is gonna come in there. And then they pick out this one really oily guy, and he like does all this stretching, and like he like his posing, like everything looks awesome. But that pose that Sub-Zero does in that, or like this pose right here, like super cool. Super cool. All these poses just so cool. Like, it really gets you prepared for like two badasses fighting.
Yeah.
So final question I'm gonna ask is, okay, we all agree that they did the characters pretty good as far as to coincide with the arcade game. What about the story? Did you guys enjoy the story? How they kind of built it up through the storyline? And is it, what is your final rating on this as far as, definitely worth going seeing to the movies, or at that time, and worth every penny, and take it from there, Rich.
As a kid, like, it's funny how you view things as a kid, and then when you're grown, it's always going to be different. So like as a kid, I thought, man, this is top-notch acting. This is top-notch. This is top-notch action.
It's not.
Yes.
I was like, man, this is premiere right here. This is a premiere access right here.
Look at this shot.
And then, as you grow up, the acting, of course, now that I see it, the acting is not great. But, it's funny. I still watch it now, and I still sometimes get the feelings I did as a kid, like excitement. With this movie, I felt like they tried to jam pack all the little like Easter eggs or whatever from the video games. Like when you were talking about the friendship, whenever he kills Scorpion, like he throws his card down or whatever. They tried to give you that the feeling of that you experience playing the video games. So I love the creators for that, for putting that into the movie, for fans to really get the feel of like the way when they played the video game. So I mean, would I pay to go see it in theater today? Hell yeah, I would pay just to feel that nostalgia, just to feel that all over again. So
dude, they did the characters so good. They prop you up with Liu Kang's like ambition to get revenge for his, for his brother. He accomplishes that. Sonya Blade, you don't work well with others. You don't trust them. She ends up working with a group. Johnny Cage, you're just an actor. No, I'm a fucking martial artist. I'm gonna kill Prince Goro. Like, he accomplishes that. They all save it. They all fulfill their own goals. and everyone's a hero. Like there's nothing more
Yeah.
that you need. Like it's that simple. Yeah. Bad guys
Yeah,
are
it's
bad.
Yeah.
I think the movie definitely, you know, as a kid playing the video game, seeing them in 2D, and then seeing Scorpio and Sub Zero, and just just switching in their colors. It's like, oh, like I'm playing that. But seeing them in the movie, being like, all right, this guy really does ice, and Scorpio does his get over here, and the fire. It really made me be like, wow, this is a movie for Mortal Kombat people.
Yeah.
As a kid, I mean, like you said, the acting isn't great, but it's definitely a good movie. And then anybody can watch it. You could watch it as a kid, or a kid, adult taking the kid, and you'll have a fun time. And then going back to the Easter eggs, it's like for people that really play the game can also enjoy it too, just because it's like, all right, the adults and kid aren't gonna know, like, oh, that was his fatality, or that's his signature move, which
Yeah.
I feel like that's awesome for Mortal Kombat fans. So if I had a chance to watch this in a movie, I would say hell yes, for the soundtrack to be bumping
Oh
back.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
In a
Yeah.
theater now? Wow.
Oh
Could you
yeah.
imagine in Doubly Sound right now? Oh
And
my
the-
Hell
I
yeah.
could already see Vic in the corner.
With glow sticks, I'll do it.
His glow sticks
And
doing
it's
his raid
it's
dance.
crazy because I was watching a Red Letter Media video. I don't know if you guys watch them, but I watch them from time to time, and they were actually knocking on this movie, and they were saying that people just like it because of the nostalgia. But I don't think that's true, because I really do think it's a solid movie, and I think people actually really do like it, because if they didn't, why did they put them, like all these main characters, in the newest Mortal Kombat game? Like
Yeah,
they
that's
put
true.
they brought back their voice actors. They got everybody to do like these awesome lines, for whenever they walk in, whenever before they fight. They
Yeah.
got the original Shang Tsung actor to play into the story of Mortal Kombat 11, and his story is awesome. He's freaking like you get to see an extension of what he could have been if he kept like living. Like he's like old, and then he becomes young again, like how he looks in this movie, and he's
Yeah.
stealing crowns that control time. And he does that same smirk, with that same sly voice, that super like awesome voice. So
Yeah.
like these characters, I'll like, yeah, they're these actors aren't the greatest, but it's all the charm that comes across the screen that makes people love this movie. It's not, I don't think it's nostalgia. It's like just the charm, and the
Yeah.
soundtrack's badass.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's gonna be a clean sweep. All of us would pay now to see this in IMAX and Dolby Sound. It's a clean sweep for all of us, everybody here. What did you guys think about this? Does this still hold up to today? Will you guys go see it in the movies if it was come out today? This version. Leave your comments down below, and always give us a thumbs up, and give us a like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I want to give a special thank you to my brother, because he took me to go see this, and it's one of my childhood memories, and he was there to experience it with me, and thank you very much. And another special thank you for Mr. Pyro. Pyro, where can they find you at, my friend? I know you're on Twitch and YouTube. Where can everybody find you at?
At PyroClown59 for both YouTube and Twitch, all in one word.
Okay, and you're doing you've done Resident Evil, I think
Hollow Knight right now.
Hollow Knight, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Hollow
on
Knight.
Hollow
Yeah.
Knight right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you okay.
Such a
So
good game.
everybody, yeah, everybody follow this man if you get a chance. They have good discussions on there. Me and Rich pop up once in a great while and give him a hard time and start different conversations on there. Interesting conversations on there, and a lot of other discussions.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, Rich, where can everybody find us at?
On our Instagram or YouTube, just scroll down, you'll see a thing called Linktree. Click that, and that'll give you the links to all of our stuff from Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, both of our podcast outlets, which is Podomatic and Apple Podcasts. We'll link PyroClown59's Twitch on the bottom too. That way it's easy access for you guys just to click on it and go follow him. He puts out some good stuff. He's keeping the content coming. He's got a schedule out for you guys. Just go to his Twitch and you'll see his schedule.
All right, everybody.
All right.
For Pyro, Vic, Rich, and Dave. Hey, there can never be enough scoundrels in your life.